Love Island Australia, the podcast.
All right, everybody, excited and delighted now to be joined by two of Love Island Australia's brightest starlets. It's only Yana and Gabby! Woo! What did you think was going to happen with Kai? Were you expecting him to come back solo? Like, regardless of what happened, and we didn't know that at that point, or were you worried for Yana?
Well, see, the crazy thing is, I don't think you see how obsessed Kai is with Yana. Like, Kai would sit there on lunch breaks and just like tell me all about Yana and just speak so highly about her. And Yana was the one that really had her walls up when Kai came in and when, you know, they were sort of opening themselves up to the idea of being back together and those sort of things. So, you know, I was like going batshit crazy in the villa, like my best friend's gone and then Kai was my other best friend, he's gone too. And I was just like, no, like Kai's gonna, you know, be loyal. And I was like, maybe Yana will I convinced myself. Convinced myself. I was like, she owes it to herself. Like maybe she will, like she's had her walls up with Kai. But you really don't see that side of things. You really don't see the way Kai was just like.
And I think as well, because Gabby, like, they all knew that I had previously messaged Dylan, or Dylan and I had previously messaged.
Oh, can we clarify this? So he was in your DMs and he said on the show that he invited you over to his place.
Yeah, so this is what happened. So it was probably, I don't know, like a couple weeks or so, or like a week after I broke up with Kai, I got a message from Dylan, and his first message, and I went back and checked the screenshots because I had them, and the first message was, "I see you," with like two googly eyes. And then I was like, "Oh, hello, Dylan," something like that. Like we were just
He's getting his throat on. Hey, babe, I see you. Hello, Dylan.
Yeah, like we were just, I don't know. He was definitely trying a lot, but.
And did you know? Had you seen last year's Love Island? You knew who he was?
I've never watched Love Island. I've only ever seen it through TikTok.
Okay.
But I did know who Dylan was. Like I saw it all on TikTok and everything. But, like I definitely wasn't, like we had a bit of a flirt, but it was definitely a bit one-sided. Like he was like, "Well, I got a new
he's
place."
gonna hate this.
Yeah. But he was like, "Oh, I've got a new place in Paddington," or wherever he was, and I was like, "Okay." And then he was like, location. "Oh, come." I don't think he's living there anymore.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, just censor it out maybe. I don't know.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
But he was like, "Yeah, come over." I don't know. I need to look at the screenshots, but I remember just palming it off. Like, I was thinking, like, I'm not that easy. Like, who does he think he is to think that he can just message me to come over for a one-night thing? Like, and then I was like, I remember I kept texting him and I was like, why am I even bothering to text this man? Like, he clearly wants nothing else but me in his bed. And so I found it pretty funny when he picked me for the hotel because I was like, oh, he finally got what he wanted back then. By having me in his bed.
He got nothing in the end. Fair play to you.
Yeah,
I think this is why the whole intro was like, "Oh, God, our queen."
But I think like the DM situation, like we are by the pool for how many hours while they're all at Hotel Amor, and I was like, "Nah, she's gonna owe it to herself." Like, you know, so we had completely the wrong idea the whole time, honestly.
So do you think that those messages and the fact you had this impression of him of, "Hey, babe, I've got a place, come on over," was it equally that? Like, was it more that you were like, no, absolutely not? Or was it just, no, I said what I said to Kai, we have boundaries and that's it?
Look, so I was really happy to be picked by Dylan. I felt out of all the boys, obviously I've been with the boys for so many weeks, but out of all the boys, I had this connection with Dylan where it was like, I felt like we already had something. And so I felt really comfortable being with him. So when I got picked, I was like, oh, hell yeah, like, I'll be happy to spend the night here, but I'm not crossing boundaries because I knew what I had set with Kai and I knew that I wanted to stick to that, and it was nothing to do with me not wanting to do anything. Like, I'm sure if Kai wasn't in the picture, me and Dylan would have tried something, like we would have got to know each other on a deeper level, but I had those boundaries in place and I had Kai in my mind then, so I was like, no, I'm not going to ruin what I've been building for a one-night thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. You come back in, everyone's delighted.
Oh.
The moment before Kai opens the gates, what's in your head?
I can't even remember, like, I was so fucking anxious. And I just remember, well, I don't remember, but I feel like watching it back, like I was just standing there and I was just thinking, one thing I remember saying several times was, whatever happened is a win-win for me. because if he comes back single, it's a win for me. Obviously, it didn't fit the end story, but if he comes back single, it's a win for me. And if he comes back with another girl, it's also a win for me because I know that
It's done.
It's done, yeah.
That's it, yeah.
But it got a bit messy when he came back single, but then also had something to say.
No, the way we were all screaming and cheering, like, I
Yeah,
was like,
watching it back was really sad,
God.
like seeing how happy I was for him to come back, just having no idea what he had been up to.
Yeah, and, and
That
how
was
happy
really sad.
everyone was. I feel like that
Yeah,
was. You're right.
everyone was cheering.
It was kind of a disappointing moment because it was. And one thing that's interesting about Kai is it split the internet as well. There's 50% of people that are like, this guy is awful, and him and Yana are like trauma bonded, and then other people are like, oh God, he hasn't got the words to articulate himself very well, but we can see he's trying and the cogs are turning very slowly.
And I think one of the biggest things in our past relationship was communication. We never knew how to communicate, and that's why shit went south all the time. Because Kai could never get his words out. He was constantly just giving word vomit. Like, and then I'd be like, wait, like just, it was always so confusing. And you can see that in this episode, like he just doesn't give me enough, but you can tell he is trying. Like he's trying to get it out, but he can't communicate.
You did call him on that. You're like, Kai, you got to stop mumbling and use like actual
sit up
words. I'm
and
really glad you
talk,
did
yeah.
that. So Mick welcomed Kai. He's come in, you've had your moment. And Mick says to him, I love you, but you're a fuckwit. And Kai says, look, I know I effed up, but I had to do it. I would have hated myself if I didn't do it.
I heard that and I was like, I think, yeah, I don't know what to say about that.
interesting.
Like, I
That
wonder-
was interesting.
Well, maybe Gabs would have an opinion. Like, I wonder, does being, because it's different because you're exes, but does being on Love Island, does it buy you a little bit of grace? Well, this is the experience and you got to test connections.
I think
Yeah,
he
people-
definitely would have used that as a bit of an excuse to let himself go by. And I think you can tell as well, like, in the last two episodes, like, he is very bothered with himself and you can see him start getting very vulnerable. And he knows he fucks up, but he wants to navigate it in a way where it was fine and it was normal.
Yeah.
But I think he realises that it's not normal and he can't be doing that.
And I also think you guys hadn't like spoken about what you were, or like, I mean, you did set your boundaries, but I think
that's another thing. Like, we weren't officially anything in there, and we did have a conversation that he had selective hearing with.
Yeah.
Up in the Nook, where we said we're open, we can be open, but let's have boundaries where we can't kiss anyone until we come and talk to each other about. And I think he missed the end of that. But yeah.
I'm not sure if it was by accident or by mistake, but he was like, when you were thrashing it out, he was like, yeah, look, I kissed someone by mistake. Was that what he said? Was it mistake
Yeah,
or
I
accident?
Accident.
By
By
accident. I kissed someone by
Oh.
accident. Well, what did you think when you heard that?
Again, just word vomit. Like,
Yeah.
what? Like, what do you mean by accident?
Yeah. He just couldn't put his words together. He needed to
Yeah.
just put his hands in the air and say, I did this, this and this, and I'm sorry, and I did that because I felt like, we were at this point or whatever, but
I wonder, because you've seen, obviously, the episode with Kai and Emma in Hotel Amor, and his basic thing was, apart from the kiss, the shower was the big talking point, because Emma comes in and, the shower got a bit steamy, and his thing was, I was having a shower by myself, I didn't ask her to come in, she kind of joined me. And I think that appears to be true.
I think that's true, yeah. I mean, I only saw so much of what was like 24 hours, but I believe him. And I think one thing with Kai is, as much as he's struggling to get his words out now, once he calms down, he's able to tell me the truth. And that was something in our relationship as well, was every time something would happen where he'd need to be open and honest about, he'd tell me the truth, even if it killed my guts. Like, that was one thing about Kai, and I think that was one reason I always kind of kept going back, and it's a bit toxic, but he would always be so open with his wrongs and what he did wrong. So I'd be like, okay, I believe him. At least he told me the truth. So then I'd go back to him. And I think that's obviously very toxic. But one thing with Kai is he'll always end up telling me the truth once he's had a breath.
Yeah.
And I think you do see that in today's episode, is you can see him slowly starting to get all the truth out once he puts his brain.
Oh, I
together.
do think you genuinely can see it. It's like happening slowly, but you can see he's
Yeah.
like grappling with, okay, I need to like man up a bit here.
Yeah.
Emma was on last week and she said she actually felt terrible for you and she felt bad. But I was kind of asking her about lobbing the grenades, you know, like, oh, the shower was steamy and the cuddles were mean. And I think she was kind of saying that was more like an FU to Kai. Did you have any kind of feeling towards Emma or?
Well, when the whole fire pit thing happened, Emma and Jade walked up, and after having a go at Kai a few times, I think I went up to Emma and I was like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm not upset with you. Like, I know that this wasn't, like, I'm not letting you be at fault. I don't know how to put that in words, but I gave her a hug. I said, welcome to the villa. I hope, like, if you need anything, come to me. So I think there was nothing between Emma at this stage. As you go on a bit, I don't know how much they'll show, but there was a little bit more.
A bit more attention or
a bit more tension, yeah, I think coming up to movie night, there was a bit more tension with her. But at the end of the day, it wasn't her fault, it was Kai's. I had boundaries set with Kai, not Emma, so
Yeah.
yeah, I had nothing to be angry at her about.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up to say, without both of you and the mad journeys you've both been on and will continue to be on, I'm sure, for another while, the series will be like less than. So I'm so delighted you came in.
You're welcome,
Thank
guys.
you.
We went through a lot.
Much love. Yana and Gabby, everybody.
Oh, yay!